All right, welcome everybody. This is Dave Espino and Kedrick Vandekar. We are excited tonight to share with you how to make six figures in passive income with yield farming in less than 30 minutes without needing to start a business. We are ready. We're excited. We're letting people come in to the webinar. We're going to give it a little bit of time really quick just to allow everybody to come in. We see everybody coming in. I see Dave, Derek, Benny, Greg, Herb, John. Welcome everybody. Welcome Kenny. I see Nathan, Paula, Peter, Randy, Roger. Welcome Roger, Romeo, Scott, Shane. Holy moly, these guys are going fast. Steve, Tim, Tom. Welcome everybody. So we're excited. I'm just going to go ahead and let Kedrick have the microphone and tear it up. So it's going to be very exciting. I just want to share with you guys, this is the new revolution in finance. This is a new wealth building tactic. It's very hot, it's very exciting, and it allows all of us, if we want to build real generational wealth. So let's go ahead and get started, Kedrick. Thank you so much for joining us, by the way. It's a true honor to have you here.
Oh, thanks so much, Dave. Yeah, very much appreciate it. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining tonight. Thanks for being on time. So I'm going to be going through this presentation pretty fast, and everybody has questions. That's totally fine. I might not be able to answer your questions as you ask them, but Dave is going to be kind of recording them, and at the end, I promise I will answer everybody's questions. So just stick with us. But yeah, I wanted to just call that out for everybody. So just to start out, my name is Kedrick Vandekar. I guess I'm what you refer to as a professional yield farmer. I'm currently making over $1,800 a day. And today I'm going to be teaching you some of the key secrets that I've learned about yield farming. And in fact, I'm actually going to build a yield farm live on tonight's presentation. So stick with me. You will actually see me making money live tonight. Now, my only ask is, if I teach you how to make a lot of money, please don't turn out like one of these guys and girls. We don't need any more rich people flaunting their money online. We got enough of that already. Just as a quick disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor, so nothing in this presentation is financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. Also, I'm not saying that you're going to make $1,800 a day, right? In fact, when I first started out, I wasn't actually trying to make this much money. I was just trying to be able to pay my bills. Now I currently have about 22 yield farms live, and some aren't doing so great, making maybe 20 bucks a day, but others are making over $500 a day. But it's not just for me. I've got lots of examples of other people who have gone through this exact same training that you're going through tonight and have been able to successfully yield farm. So Kai from Arinda is a great example of this. After he went through the same training, he went from not knowing anything about yield farming or cryptocurrencies to earning over $1,100 a day within his first 3 weeks. Okay, so this will work for you if you get the information that you need. Okay, so that's why you're going to want to stick in here till the end. So who's this for? Now, I want to be really clear. This is really for two groups of people. First, maybe you've already invested in cryptocurrencies. Maybe you've already familiar with them, okay? This is a fantastic way for you to be able to start earning income from your cryptocurrency holdings. But also, even people who know nothing about crypto or blockchain or Bitcoin, this is a fantastic training for you as well, okay? And I've got lots of examples of helping people who had no idea what a cryptocurrency was, but have gone through this training and have successfully and profitably yield farmed. So what is yield farming, right? What is this term everybody's talking about? What is this? What are people talking about? So yield farming is actually just a collection of techniques of using cryptocurrencies in order to be able to earn passive income. Now, to be clear, I'm not talking about making money by buying a cryptocurrency and hoping that it goes up in price. That's not what we're doing here. What I'm talking about is using these techniques to earn cryptocurrencies that you did not have to buy. Okay, now a lot of people are asking, is this sort of like Bitcoin mining? And the answer is no. This is completely different from Bitcoin mining. We're earning an income in an entirely different way, okay? So I just want to call that out because sometimes people will get a little bit confused about exactly how this whole thing works. Okay, so really my goal for tonight's webinar for you is really twofold. First, I want you guys to walk away from here and realize that yield farming is by far the most effective way to earn passive income. And two, that the only real way to get started with yield farming is with Boss Financial. So a little bit about myself. I've sort of had an on-again, off-again relationship with cryptocurrency since 2013. I bought my first Bitcoin back in 2013. I was almost certain that it was a scam. Obviously, I've come full circle, and I've started multiple companies in the blockchain and cryptocurrency space. And I actually have a separate business called DeFi Masterclass, where I train hedge funds and venture capitalists about yield farming. In fact, they typically pay thousands of dollars to learn the exact same thing you're going to be learning tonight here for free. Okay, so let's go and keep that secret to ourselves. Yeah, that's all cool, but the fact is, I got started with yield farming because I got laid off. I'm a dad in my late 30s, and I've got a long list of failed companies behind me. You know, I've had some moderate successes here and there, but nothing that I've ever truly been proud of. My dream has always been to be able to earn passive income to be able to support my wife and my 3 kids. And I didn't want to give up on the dream. You know, I've tried everything from real estate to tech startups to affiliate marketing and cryptocurrencies. Nothing had actually worked for me though. You know, throughout this entire process, my wife's been extremely supportive. In fact, for a long time, she was the primary breadwinner in our family. And you know, when this all went down, she made it pretty clear, you know, that we're at the end of her patience with trying to support this dream. You know, frankly, she'd sacrificed financially, emotionally, a lot of time. She was tired of having to tell my kids that, you know, Daddy can't play right now because he needs to work. She needed this. She needed stability. She made it really clear, actually, when this all went down. She made it clear. She said, "I need you to have stability, and I need it now." And to her, that meant normal working hours, consistent cash flow, and frankly, a consistent emotional state. For me personally, you know, anybody that's been part of any startup companies knows the toll it can take on you emotionally. And frankly, she was burnt out kind of seeing me go on that emotional roller coaster. Needless to say, I was feeling pretty inadequate as a husband and as a father. You know, in addition to this, I've been kind of always dealing with kind of some internal struggles. You know, from an early age, I was always told I had amazing potential, but I never actually had anything that I could point to that I was proud of. You know, my own self-worth was in shambles. And probably because I've always had like these expectations on myself and also put on me by my parents. You know, I needed a big enough success to really break me out of this funk. As I mentioned, I got into yield farming because I got laid off. I was at my parents' house for an extended stay. My wife was pregnant at the time, and it was just very early on in the COVID pandemic. We lived they were in Los Angeles, and so we went, stayed with them, brought the kids with us, and it was also nice, obviously, to get some help from grandma and grandpa. I had a tech startup company at the time, and we were expecting a really large financing to come through. You know, we'd been scraping by on Razor's Edge for about 6 months or so. You know, I had not taken any salary. That put a whole other kind of strain, you know, on the relationship for about 6 months. And I was in one of the bedrooms, and I remember distinctly, my business partner gave me a call, and he said, "Ked, I've got some news." And immediately I knew something bad had happened. He said, "The financing is not going to happen." Now, this was a financing deal for the business that I was staking my career on, my credibility, my finances, my sanity, frankly. You know, a deal that we were 99.9% sure was going to happen, and it was dead. You know, when he told me this, immediately my stomach dropped. I somehow felt scorching hot and freezing cold at the same time. My palms were sweaty. I was feeling nauseous. My initial thought was, what am I going to tell my wife? I mean, I'd been telling her this was the one. Don't worry, honey. This is it. I got it figured out. And this is going to be chalked up as just another failure. You know, I could hear my daughter in the other room coming down the hall. I was fighting back tears. I knew I'd put on a strong face to be able to, you know, not worry my family. I needed to find a way to make money fast to be able to support my family, or I was going to have to give up on my dreams forever. And that night, I started racking my brain for hours for ideas on how to be able to earn income for the family. And suddenly it occurred to me, I could use some of the Bitcoin that I had to actually earn passive income. Okay. Now, I had heard of yield farming before, but frankly, I had actually dismissed it. I thought it was another fad, there's so many fads. There's so many things, there's distractions. I wrote it off. I didn't think anything of it. But the fact of the matter is I was desperate. I was grasping for anything that I could get. And so I started to investigate a little bit further, and I found a farm that was paying over 500% return. And I immediately was like, all right, the skeptic in me was like, this is obviously too good to be true. But the fact is I was desperate. So I put some money in, kind of almost half as a joke. And I came back 24 hours later and I had earned $100. Okay, immediately I was like, what's going on here? I withdrew my money to make sure that it worked. It wasn't like some sort of weird scam. And I turned it into cash and it worked. I was blown away. And so I was like, okay, this is it. This is redefining moment in my life of what is this thing? I just built a money machine on the internet. How is this possible? And so I started going nuts with it. I started to go out and take my money and find the highest paying farms, and I would plow my money into there and I'd move on. And I was crushing. I was making that small test work great. And I was starting to make awesome money, right? I thought I was a genius. I was like, this is it. This is the answer. I've got it figured out. And then the crypto markets crashed and I almost lost everything. I was devastated. After that professional roller coaster of thinking you're gonna have finance go through, to then having it not go through, to then thinking that you're a genius, you found some magic internet money thing, to then almost getting wiped out. The emotional toll was such that I was gonna just throw in the towel and be like, I can't do this anymore. I can't punish myself like this anymore. And frankly, I was put to a choice. I really had two choices. I could either give up or I could give it one last shot. And there was one thing that I kept coming back to. The math was correct. The math was there. The money was there. I saw it. It worked. The problem was I was too reliant on the most risky farm. And I ultimately that caused that I didn't appreciate and understand the risks associated with this. And so if I was going to do this, I needed a system which was going to work regardless of whether or not the market was going up or down, right? I needed a system that was going to give me stable, passive, consistent cash flow, as my wife rightly so was expecting, right? So if this was going to be my primary source of income, right, I was going to have to develop a system that allowed me to reduce my risk while consistently growing my cash flows. Okay, so what did that mean? What did that actually break down to? Well, first, I had to find a way to be able to consistently find these yield farming opportunities, not a small task. Next, I needed to have a process to evaluate the risk and reward of each yield farm. Third, I needed a method to be able to track the results and manage all of this. And lastly, I had to make sure that each of these yield farms fit into an overall diversified portfolio so that I could spread my risk around and deliver that consistent passive income. Okay, that is what I developed. And it's worked. I am now making income in a passive way that I never thought would be possible. And it's wild. For a long time, I always thought I would always just be chasing, I'm just gonna make more money. And that's where there's such a focus on just trying to make money. And now that my income level is where it's at, it's realigned what I value and what I want to spend my time on. I value time with my friends and family a lot more than I even thought that I would. And in addition to that, I'm happy to say that I've actually been able to finally resolve a lot of my self-worth issues. I can genuinely say this has made me a better husband and a better father. Okay, so look, I discovered the hard way to go out and do this. Okay, I'm not advocating for that. I'm not advocating for going through that same painful process. We're here to talk about the easy way, and that's what I'm going to do. I want to show you what I have learned to actually do this. Okay, but I want to call something out first. If you've been struggling, you're not alone. And here's the reason why. You know, people always say if you want to get rich, you've got to get your money to work for you. Traditional finance expects us to save our money and put it in a bank account, which is paying us 0.5% per year, right? And you don't have to be a mathematician to know that that is never going to work. Okay, you may have suspected that this game is rigged against you, and the fact is you're right. You see, under the guise of consumer protection, the government puts a lot of regulations in place which prevent us from owning true wealth building assets. I'm talking about the types of assets that are going up 30, 50% per year and generating significant cash flows. Assets that you've got to own if you want to generate real wealth. The fact of the matter is some bureaucrats in Washington think that we're not smart enough to be able to evaluate the risk of something. We're not smart enough. You know, we need to be protected from our own money, protected from being able to make money in ways that other people get to, right? Meanwhile, of course, the government keeps printing trillions of dollars and eroding the value of the money sitting in those savings accounts, right? I mean, look at it right now. Inflation's at over 7% right now. That means if you're not making more than 7% on your money, you're losing money. Okay, that's the fact of reality right now. Yield farming changes everything. Okay, for the first time, we're able to start making money in ways that only very wealthy people have traditionally been able to make money. And I'm going to talk to you more about what exactly I mean by that. Okay, so stick with me. Okay, so all right, so what is the hard way? What is the way that I'm definitely not advocating you go do? The hard way for me was I built lots of wrong and bad farms. I lost about $30,000 from that. I've been scammed out of about $25,000. That was awful. I've spent hundreds of hours reading forums, researching different things, researching different blockchains. I've built well over 100 farms at this point. Spent thousands in unnecessary transaction fees. My upfront cost today has been over $57,000 and hundreds of hours of work. Okay, so but again, that's what I had to get to actually figure this out. In about 10 minutes, I'm going to show you how to build a yield farm, though. So stick with me. Okay, you're going to literally be watching me make money today. You will watch me we will watch together the money tick up. Okay, so stick with me. I'm going to show you that shortly here. So what are these three secrets? And what are these things that I've learned? Okay, these three secrets that I've had to suffer through to actually figure out and bring this to you today, right? So secret number one, the $17 trillion opportunity. What is yield farming? How does it work? And why is this the beginning of a $17 trillion financial revolution? Secret number two, how do we build a yield farm in under 30 minutes? A step-by-step guide to help anybody, beginners to experts, set up their first yield farm in under 30 minutes with as little as $100. And secret number three, the monopoly strategy for consistent passive income. How do we make life-changing passive income from yield farming with the portfolio of farm strategy? Okay, so secret number one, the $17 trillion opportunity. What is yield farming? How does it work? And why is this the beginning of a $17 trillion financial revolution? Everybody recognize this guy, right? Warren Buffett, one of the best investors of all time. I like Warren Buffett, but he has a quote that always kind of bothered me. Warren's quote is, he says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work till you die. Okay, thanks, Warren. How? How do you do that? It's one thing to say it. How do you actually do that, though, Warren? Right? The average savings account in the United States is paying us 0.5% per year. You know, you can go out and invest in index funds, and the traditional finance is going to say you need to be very, very happy with 7% per year. Ecstatic. By the way, if you just get 7% per year, it just means that you're not losing money right now. By the way, are you ever curious? So when you put your money in a bank account, right, they pay us 0.5%. Okay. Are you curious how much they actually earn off that money we give them? Banks are earning 10% on the money that we give them. That means that they're literally earning 20 times the money that we give them. And of course, not getting anything. I mean, we're getting nothing from them, right? And banks, they've got all kinds of ways to be able to make money. They've got all kinds of tricks, right? From transaction fees to loans to IPOs to transfer fees to overdraft fees, market making. These guys are literally printing money using our money, right? They're taking our money. They've got all their different methods to go out and earn money with it. These are them, and we're not getting anything, okay? Blockchain changes everything. Blockchain enables something called decentralized finance. Decentralized finance is an industry that's exploding right now, where we no longer need banks to be able to do financial transactions that typically we used to have banks for, right? So decentralized finance, or DeFi as it's called, we can get loans, we can have savings accounts, we can get insurance, we can even start a hedge fund all on the blockchain, all without a middleman. Okay, that's all possible now in decentralized finance. In this new world, there is no middleman. It's kind of like you and I become the bank, and we get to start making money the way that banks do. Okay, I'm going to talk to you more about what I mean by that. There's an analogy I like to use. Decentralized finance, if you think of like big banks as being a piñata, well, decentralized finance is the bat that has just split up with that piñata, and out of that piñata are all the different business models, all the different ways that traditionally only banks have been able to make money, okay? And now you and I can go in there and scoop it up and earn money the ways that traditionally only banks have been able to do. What I mean by that? Well, market making. Market making is a very, very profitable business for banks. It's been around for hundreds of years, okay? And there's market makers where effectively you have somebody who's a middleman. Typically, this is a bank, and they're helping buyers buy and sellers sell a particular good or item or commodity. So there's market makers for gold, market makers for oil, market makers for wheat, market makers for orange juice, right? There's market makers for everything, okay? And for being that middleman, right, for sitting in the middle, you take a small percentage of every transaction. When you help a buyer buy or a seller sell in a particular market, you're taking a little piece of that, but you're doing it a whole bunch of times. So it adds up to being a lot of money. Okay, that's what market making is. And turns out if you get to be the middleman, then you're going to do really well. And traditionally, big banks have gotten to be the middleman, right? Traditionally, big banks, traditional finance has gotten to play this role of market maker and have made a ton of money off of it. Guess what? Yield farming is market making. It's no difference. It's a new name, right? It's a new name in this new market, but it's no different. In this new world, you and I get to act like the market maker for different cryptocurrency markets. Okay, so what we do is we provide liquidity. We essentially put up some money of ours, plus use some free software, and we are able to earn money the ways that traditionally only banks have been able to. And for this, we receive a fee, okay? We help buyers buy and sellers sell, and every time we do that, we take a small fee off it. It happens automatically, and that's what we're doing here. That's what yield farming is. We've devised a method and a system to be able to make money in a way traditionally only banks have been able to do, okay? So I'm gonna give you a specific example of this, okay? So stick with me here. So, all right, so in this example, we're gonna be market makers. We're gonna yield farm for two cryptocurrencies, okay? We're gonna yield farm for Ethereum and USDC. Ethereum is a very popular, very successful cryptocurrency. It does go up and down in value. And USDC, which is a stable coin, which means it's equal to the value of a US dollar. It does not go up and down in value. It's just equal to the value of a US dollar. Always So Bitcoin and Ethereum can do whatever it wants. It's not going to change the value of USDC, US dollar coin. USDC is the name. Okay. So in this instance, right, if we want to yield from this, want to market make for this, what we need to do is we need to have half of our money in Ethereum. Okay. Half of our money in US dollar coin. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to deposit that into a liquidity pool. Now, liquidity pool is just a shared pool of money that is managed automatically on the blockchain with some software. You don't have to do anything. It does it automatically for you in something called an automated market maker. Not important right now, but just giving you the background. Okay, so you put your money in that shared pool of money, and then that shared pool of money gets used to help buyers buy and sellers sell anytime they want to sell Ethereum or buy Ethereum, or anytime they want to sell US dollar coin or buy US dollar coin. Okay. And for that, every single time they do that, they pay a small transaction fee, except we're doing it a whole bunch of times. It's happening thousands, if not millions of times. And what happens is those trading fees turn out to be a lot of money. Okay. Turns out these business models that banks have had are amazing business models, great ways to make money. And so that's what's going on. That's what yield farming is. That's what we're actually doing here. It's just market making. It's no different. It's a new name for it. It's slightly different in the context that we're doing, but it's been around for a long time. It's a proven business model. It's been successful for a long time. Okay. So that's what yield farming is. By the way, congratulations. You are now part of a very small group of people who are in front of this massive shift. Again, yield farming is just one of the very first ways that we start making money in this new world of decentralized finance. It happens to be an extremely profitable way that will be around it forever. As long as there's internet money like and blockchain, this will be around. Okay, but it will not be the last way that we can earn money in decentralized finance. However, as yield farmers, we are supremely positioned to be able to capitalize on all these other innovations that are coming down the pipe. Again, market making, right? Now it's yield farming, okay? But guess what? There's all kinds of other ways to be able to make money that banks have had that now, since we're getting rid of the middleman and we can use the blockchain as the middleman from now on, we don't need a middleman. We get to benefit from that. We get to actually profit from all those different business models. So congratulations. You now have, not very many people know about this and what's going on right now. All right. So let me pause there. You may be feeling a little bit overwhelmed by some of these different terms that I'm using in terms of liquidity mining and yield farming and automated market making and all these different things. And I just want to call it this. It's like, do not worry. Okay. I have a proven track record of being able to help people who have known nothing about cryptocurrencies, know nothing about blockchain, to be able to successfully yield farm. Okay, this is, and April from Mobile, Alabama is a great example of this. April knew nothing about cryptocurrencies, knew nothing about blockchain. Okay, but she went through the exact same course that you guys are going through, and she was able to start yield farming successfully within 3 days. Okay, so very, very quickly went from zero, knowing nothing, to profitably yield farming. Okay, so this will work for you. Okay, this system does work for everybody, regardless of whether or not you have a lot of pre-existing knowledge. So I just want to call that out and just alleviate any concerns you might have, because I was talking fast and maybe throwing out some terms that you're just like, what are these guys talking about? Don't worry, as long as it's broken down and explained, and this stuff is not complex once it's explained clearly. I promise anybody can do this. Okay, so now we know secret number one, right? We know what yield farming is, we know how it works, and we know why this is the beginning of a $17 trillion financial revolution. Secret number two, how do we build a yield farm in under 30 minutes? Okay, how can we help anybody, beginners to experts, set up their first yield farm in under 30 minutes with as little as $100? Okay, I got a question for you. Does this picture scare you? It scared the heck out of me. What you're looking at is the exact Lego set that my wife and I bought my son when my daughter was born. When our daughter was born, we were very concerned that we were gonna have to spend a lot of time with her, and it was gonna make our son jealous, and he was gonna have a bad relationship with his sister. And so we devised this plan. We said, okay, well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go out and buy this really cool Lego set, And then when we come home, we'll tell him it's from his baby sister, and it'll be great, right? And we went to the hospital, had the baby. We're there for a couple of days. We're up all night. We're not sleeping, obviously. So we finally get released. We head home after a couple of days there. We were exhausted. We walk through the door, and my son comes running over and he said, "Hey, buddy, come meet your new baby sister." And we said, "Hey, look what she got you. She got you this toy." And the plan worked great. And he said, "Oh, I love my baby sister." And so, we thought we were geniuses. Oh, plan worked great, right? Well, that joy of seeing my son so happy was instantly replaced with dread when he said, "Hey, Daddy, can we build this together right now?" And I was like, "Oh God." The last thing I want to do right now is build a Lego set. I was exhausted, but I didn't want to let him down. So I said, "Yeah, buddy, we can do that." Well, that dread was instantly replaced with piercing fear when he ripped open this Lego box, and out of it came pouring thousands of these different Lego pieces. And I thought, well, oh my God, what have I got myself into? There's no way I can figure this out. All I can say is, thank God for those step-by-step Lego guides. The ones where it's like page by page, you're just like, go here, pick up this piece, put it here. Like, if it wasn't for that exact step-by-step guide, I'd probably still be building that Lego set right now. But because I had the exact step-by-step guide, what was going to be an impossible task became totally manageable. Okay. Yield farming is kind of like that. Okay. It's kind of like building a big Lego set. What would be impossible to potentially figure out on your own becomes totally manageable if you have that step-by-step guide on exactly how to do it. In fact, anybody can do this, right? And so what I want to do is I want to talk about some of these key steps in this process. All right. And I'm going to keep coming back to this page. So we are definitely going to learn this. All right. So in this process, right? So yield farming that I'm going to show you, this comes to a 3-step process right here. Okay. So first step is we're going to need to trade tokens or swap tokens to get the tokens we want. Remember the example I mentioned earlier where we were going to provide liquidity for US dollar coin and Ethereum. Okay. It means we had to have half our money in one, half our money in the other. We're going to have to do the same thing here. Got my money in one token. I need to swap it, put half my money in the other so that I can actually then deposit it into a liquidity pool. Okay. Now, once I deposit it into the liquidity pool, what's going to happen is I'm going to get back something called LP tokens. LP tokens are liquidity pool tokens. What that means is these are the tokens that show that the portion of that liquidity pool belongs to me. And I'm going to use those tokens when I want to take my money back out of the yield farm. I'm going to use it to bring it back there and trade it in to get back my original investment into that liquidity pool. So we're going to take our LP tokens and then we're going to deposit them into the yield farm for step 3. And I'm going to show you some returns that are going to blow your mind. Okay. So that's what we're going to be doing here. I'm going to show you this in just a second. But let's first go through here. So again, my system has been designed to be able to help people identify yield farms really, really quickly. And so that is really what I've done. I use that to actually identify this particular yield farm. This is Haku Swap. Okay. It is on the Avalanche blockchain. I'm going to build a farm on the Avalanche blockchain right now. And as you can see here are some of the different returns that are possible here with this particular farm. So we have all these different tokens. So this is US dollar coin and AVAX. AVAX is the Ethereum equivalent for the Avalanche blockchain. It's a really high quality cryptocurrency. And with this one, we can earn 55% on our money per year. Okay. The other one that I really like is Haku AVAX. Okay. Now with this one, this is Haku. This is a token of this particular website. This is the farming token for this. And the APR is 486% per year. That's not a typo. I'm hoping you guys can see this. It's not too small for you. 486% per year, which means I put $100 in there. And a year, I'm going to get $486 back. Okay, that's the type of stuff that's possible in this space, which is why it's so crazy. All right, so what I'm going to do, so that's the farm I want to do. So I want to build that farm. So what do we need to do, right? Let's go back here. What's the first step? Well, I need to trade tokens. I need to have the right tokens. So what I'm going to do is I need to take some of the different tokens I have and swap them so that I have half of my money in Haku and half my money in AVAX. Okay, so we're going to go over to the swapping tab here. Connect wallet. Good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go AVAX and Haku. There you go. I'm going to swap. Let's see. It'll be a little right about $100. So I'm going to swap one Avalanche token, AVAX token, and it's going to give me 839 Haku tokens. By the way, here's the price of Haku tokens, about 9 cents per Haku token right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap this. Okay. So I click swap, confirm swap. Yes, I want to do that. And what's happening is this farming website exchange website is saying, hey, it's pulling up my MetaMask, which is my decentralized wallet. It's kind of like the wallet that I have my money in. My money is actually not in some exchange like Coinbase. I actually have it. I'm containing my money in my web browser right now. And so I just swapped that. So what's happening is I just wrote a transaction blockchain to say, hey, Haku swap, I want you to take some of my Avalanche tokens and turn it into Haku tokens, right? So that's what we need to do here, right? We need to have half our money in each of these tokens so that then we can deposit in the liquidity pool. And so soon that should clear. Let's see where it's at. Okay. Let's see. We're gonna here. Let's see. Yeah, I got the Haku tokens right here. It's kind of small. Sorry, I can't blow it up bigger for you, but I have the Haku tokens. I swapped it for an Avalanche token. Great. So now we're going to go to liquidity, right? So now we have some Haku tokens, we have some Avalanche tokens, and I need to take 50% of each and put it together and put it into the liquidity pool. And so that's what we're going to do next. So I'm going to go over to the liquidity tab here. Click on that. I'm going to click add liquidity. It's going to ask me what currencies do I want to see. See this plus sign? It's saying, which ones do you want to put in here? What do you want to mix together and put into this liquidity pool? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, I'm going to select Haku tokens. I'll click max. There you go. It's right about one Avalanche token, one Haku token. And I'm going to click supply here. Okay, great. I will confirm supply. Okay, confirm. Great. And now we're writing a transaction to the blockchain right now. So waiting for that to clear. And once it clears, we should see it here in just a second. Okay, great. Now we've got it, right? So we've got this. We now have 28.8 Haku AVAX liquidity pool tokens. Okay. So next, we're going to take those LP tokens, which are already in my wallet, by the way. They're already in my wallet right now. And we're going to bring that over here and we're going to stake them. So I'm going to click stake. Okay. See right here, it's 28.8 Haku tokens. Click max and confirm. I'm going to confirm this. And as soon as that confirms, as soon as my tokens are staked, guess what? I'm earning money. Right then, I'm going to be earning money. So bear with me. Let's see. There we go. Aha. Okay. There we go. See this? You see this ticking up? There you go. You're seeing this tick up right now. That those Haku tokens earned. I am earning money right now. That's not a ton of money, right? But it just started. And can I sell Haku tokens? Yes. Why? Because they're worth 9 pennies. And there's other people who are providing liquidity, right? So I can go back and actually sell these tokens. I can harvest them and sell them by going back to the swap here and essentially just doing this, switching this to Haku. I could turn it back to Avalanche. I could turn it into Bitcoin. I could turn it into Ethereum. I could turn it into US dollar coin, which is high quality stable coin that I like. So again, I can turn those profits in there. Now the question is, okay, well, what's going on? How do these guys make money? And what happens is these guys, they don't do it for this particular farm because they want to incentivize you to provide liquidity. But for other farms here, what they'll do is they'll take a small fee. Typically, they'll take about 4% of the money that you deposit into the farm as a fee. Okay, between 2 to 4%. Now that might seem like a lot, but the fact of the matter is when you look how much I'm earning here, right? You get farms that are paying you 400% on your money. It's more than 1% per day, a couple days in the farm and it's paid for itself. Okay. But these guys want to make money too. So that's what they're doing. That's how they're doing it. So we're going to let this run. Again, I am already earning money as promised. We are earning money live right now. Okay. So, all right. So that's the process, right? So we did this. We did step 3, right? Step 1, we swapped the tokens. Step 2, we put money in the liquidity pool. We got those LP tokens back, right? The 28.8. And then step 3 is we deposited it into the farm. And now we are earning money. Okay. So but some of you might be thinking that, is your money locked up? And the answer is no. One of the best parts of yield farming is my money is not locked up. I could withdraw it at any time. I could turn it back into whatever I want. US dollar coin, put it into my bank account, transfer it back into my bank account. I can do any of those things. There's no lockup here, which is one of the best parts of yield farming. Now you typically will pay a fee when you get into a farm. And so you don't necessarily want to just tear it down because you're going to, you'll lose money in that. You want to let the farm pay for itself. But yeah, no, this is a world, it seems too good to be true, but this is a world where you're not locked up. I can take my money out and turn it into cash instantly. Okay. So what's the catch? Right? What's the catch? There's no free lunch in this world. What's the catch? And the catch is there are risks to yield farming. Okay. To successfully yield farm, you have to have a very clear understanding of the risks so that you can manage them. Okay. Now, when you think of risk, it really comes down to 2 factors with yield farming. It comes down to 2 factors. It's what do I need to hold and where do I need to hold it? Okay. And you can further break it down. I'm going to talk about these to impermanent loss, contract hacks, and rug pulls. Okay. So, but my program is designed to help people understand and navigate these risks so that they can effectively and safely yield farm. Okay. And manage this accordingly. All right. So I want to call that out and I want to discuss each of these risks specifically. Okay. So the first risk that is present in yield farming is called impermanent loss. Okay. So when you yield farm, right, you're buying tokens. Now, depending on how risky the yield farm is, right, if you're building riskier type yield farms, then the value of those tokens can go up and down in value. Okay. And so when you're actually doing that, it's like you're entering an elevator at a certain level or price. Okay. While you're on the elevator, you're getting paid. In fact, you're getting paid handsomely while you're on the elevator. And when you get off the elevator, if you get off at a level or price below what you got on at, then it can it can eat into your profits or make it not profitable at all. Okay. So I just want to call that out is you have to have, and this is what our system is designed to do, is help you to understand how to mitigate this risk so that you can build farms where you're mitigating this risk and you're earning a lot of these very high yields. Okay. So the second risk, contract hacks. So when you're yield farming, your funds are actually stored in things called smart contracts within the blockchain. Now, if those contracts are not written well, then hackers can sometimes break into those contracts and steal your funds. And what we try to do is the way to try to prevent this is to identify and only build farms that have been audited. And so again, part of what we do with our program is to show you how to find farms that are audited and how to look at these audits and actually make sense of them. Okay. But that's a really good way to make sure that the code is high quality to prevent bad guys from breaking in. Okay. So if you think of contract hacks as the bad guys are outsiders, then the third risk is rug pulls. And that's where the bad guys are actually the insiders or the developers behind a project itself, or the developers behind a yield farming project itself. Okay. And sometimes what these guys can do, the bad guys can actually put in code, backdoor code that allows them to break into the smart contracts and steal the funds. Okay. And so again, there's multiple ways to be able to identify this. and identify whether or not those yield farms have those types of code exposure. And there's tools that we've aggregated to be able to help people figure that stuff out, okay? But that's another risk that you've got to be aware of. And again, once you understand these risks, you understand how to mitigate them, then you can successfully yield farm, okay? So you might be thinking like, all right, this sounds great, but fees on Ethereum right now are so expensive, it'd be really hard to be profitable. And the fact is, you're right. The fees on Ethereum are very expensive right now, which is why we teach people how to build yield farms on other blockchains, right? I just built a farm on Avalanche blockchain. One of the first blockchains we teach you how to bridge over to is the Polygon blockchain. Both are amazing blockchains that have amazing farming opportunities on them, okay? And so the fees on those other blockchains are extremely low. In fact, the cost for me to build this farm right here tonight was probably about 50 cents. So very, very inexpensive, to the point where you don't even have to think about the fees anymore. On Ethereum, you do need to be thoughtful about fees. On these other blockchains, you do not have to worry about fees because it's just it's so little. In fact, there's some blockchains where you're paying, a hundredth of a penny to actually do a transaction. Okay, and the fees that you pay, they don't scale. If you're building or swapping tokens or building a yield farm for $100 or $100 million, the fees that you would pay are the exact same. It doesn't go up. The fees don't go up if you're using more money. I just want to call it out. Okay, I want to play a quick video from somebody in our course, Bennett from New Orleans, just to give you his perspective on things.
Hey everyone, so just want to say a few things about Boss Financial. When I first started looking into yield farming, I was blown away by how complicated and complex it is, but the step-by-step guides make it so easy to follow, really easy to set up, and it's just pretty incredible the way you can take your money and earn that kind of passive income. Never would have thought I'd be able to do that, and it's just an empowering thing. So it's a great feeling knowing that you're actually making a lot of return on your money, which is nice because you can't get it from a bank. So the step-by-step guides from Boss Financial are just incredible, and it's an incredible feeling to have it set up. So get signed up.
Okay, great. So now we know secret number 2, right? We know how to build a yield farm in under 30 minutes. We know how to help anybody, beginners to experts, to build a yield farm in under 30 minutes was as little as $100. Okay. Now, secret number 3, the monopoly strategy for consistent passive income. How do we make life-changing passive income from yield farming through the portfolio of farms strategy? Okay. So I got another question for you guys. Has this game ever cost you any friendships? There's a quick story I want to tell you. My wife and I, years back, before kids, we were going up to a cabin in the Sierra Nevadas with a group of friends, and just for a weekend getaway. And like you do when you go up to a cabin, we decided we wanted to play board games, so we're going to play Monopoly. But we weren't just going to play Monopoly; we wanted to play Team Monopoly. And it was myself and my buddy Greg on one team versus my wife and our good friend Nicole on another team. Now, Nicole is a Harvard-educated, high-power corporate attorney. She's not somebody you typically want to mess with. And what started out as a relatively friendly game soon got pretty heated. Greg and I were trying to execute some clever real estate strategies. And Nicole is standing up screaming case law precedent of why we couldn't be doing that. Needless to say, the game ended badly. I will say someone not on our team flipped the board over and walked away. And my wife ended up not talking for about 24 hours after this game. So probably the last time we're going to be playing Team Monopoly in the future. But the reason why I brought this up is if you've ever played Monopoly before, then you know that the way you win is by buying as many of the properties as possible. Now, what you're actually doing is you're diversifying your real estate holdings during the game. And what that does is it gives you consistent cash flow, which allows you to either buy more properties or survive if you get, hit somebody else's property. Okay. That consistency of income is what lets you win the game. Okay. It's the exact same concept with yield farming. In order to be able to even build a yield farm, you have to actually hold multiple cryptocurrencies, just like within Monopoly, right? And you know, and once you actually can do that, right? Once you can build enough of these different yield farms, right? You can gain that consistent passive income so that whatever happens to it, let's say something bad happens to one yield farm, right? God forbid something bad happens to a yield farm, you're not going to be wiped out, right? Because you've got these other farms that are backing you up and giving you that diversified approach. Okay, and this was the key realization for me. You know, if you want to successfully yield farm, you have to have a diversified portfolio approach to yield farm investments. Whether or not you're going conservative or risky, you have to diversify. Okay. So I want to talk about this a little bit more. Like, what does this look like? Like, how do we actually, let's talk about kind of the factors that drive risk. And once you understand and think about, once you understand the risks of yield farms break into 4 categories. And we'll use these categories to actually assemble our diversified portfolio of yield farms, okay? Now, the first category is what I would call lower risk yield farms, okay? Now, this is where I'm typically holding a stable coin, high quality stable coin like USDC, DAI, BUSD, and it's deposited into a centralized exchange like a Celsius or a BlockFi or Nexo, okay? And in exchange for depositing my funds there, I am earning 8.5 to 12% on my money. Okay. The next category of yield farms is medium risk. Okay. Now, this is again where I'm holding stable coins, which means they're equal to the value of the US dollar. I don't care with these lower risk and medium risk farms. I don't care what Bitcoin and Ethereum are doing because I'm holding stable coins. So it's equal to the value of the US dollar. They are not going up and down in value. They're not fluctuating in value. Okay. But with medium risk farms, I am depositing them into the blockchain, which has a different risk profile. Means I get paid more for that, okay? So on medium risk yield farms, I'm expected to get paid at minimum 15 to 30% on my money holding cash effectively. Stable coins are cash. You can think of them as the same thing. Okay, the next category of yield farm is high risk yield farms, okay? Now this is where I'm typically holding a blue chip crypto asset like Ethereum, Bitcoin, BNB, Link, something that's been around for Avalanche, AVAX, what you saw me, or the farm I made earlier. Okay, something that's been around for a long time, has survived a bear market, has $1 billion plus market cap. Something that we are very, very confident is going to be. Bitcoin's going to be here in 5 years. Ethereum's going to be here in 5 years. Okay, so in the worst case scenario, we could hold it for long enough so we get our money back. Okay, so that's high risk. Those are what I would consider high risk. And the reason why it's high risk, though, is because it does fluctuate in value, right? The Ethereum that I hold fluctuates in value. So that's why we're calling it high risk. Again, what do I need to hold and where do I need to hold it? That's what drives our risk in yield farming. Okay, and with high risk farms, I am expecting to earn 30 to 100% APY. Okay. And the final category is extreme risk yield farms. Now, this is where I'm holding something that's not a blue chip crypto asset. Okay, some other cryptocurrency, but it could go to zero, which is why it's extreme risk. Okay, but in exchange for taking on that risk, I'm expecting at minimum, at absolute bare minimum, 100% APY, up to 500+% APY on those yield farms. Okay, now this bracketing of farm risk and expected return, this is our home base in terms of yield farming. And the way you know when to tear down a yield farm is when the yield farm no longer pays you for the amount of risk you're taking on. Okay, each of these have different risk profiles, and we as yield farmers, we have to demand that we are getting paid for the risk and work that we're putting into it, right? Okay, so once you have this framework to think about the types of yield farms you can build, you want to have these. This the last piece of this is having it fit into an overall diversified portfolio of yield farms. Now, ideally, you would have multiple yield farms in each risk bucket, okay, to be able to, And the beautiful thing is you can adjust your ROI or your return on investment by just adjusting the amount of money you have in any of these different buckets, okay? So to show you the power of this, though, I want to show you a theoretical weighting, okay? Just a theoretical weighting, what I would consider a conservative approach to yield farming, okay? So in this theoretical weighting, I'm going to have half of my money, 50%, in lower risk farms, which means I'm holding stable coins, which are cash, okay? I'm going to have 20% of my money in medium risk farms, okay? Again, holding cash. I have 15% in high risk, okay? And 15% in extreme risk. Now, I'm sitting with 70% of my money as cash. Tomorrow, I could turn around, turn that into US dollars that are sitting in my bank account and go out and spend it. Okay, so maximum flexibility here. 70% of my money is sitting as cash. 85% of my money is sitting as cash or blue chip crypto assets, right? So 70% plus that 50%, that's 85% of my money is long-term stuff. I could hold for 5 years if I needed to, and I'd be okay, okay? My blended return with this exact weighting is 39.6% per year. Okay, that sounds good. 39.6% per year sounds really good. How good is that? How good is 39.6%? There's a reason why I chose this exact portfolio weighting. The best performing hedge fund of all time is a company called Renaissance Technology. Okay, it's not even close. They're by far and away the most successful hedge fund in history. Okay, their return to investors after they take their fees out is 39% per year. You want to know why decentralized finance is growing from $500 million total life value to $200 billion total life value in 24 months? It's because this type of stuff is possible now. Okay, I'm sitting here with 70% of my money is cash, 85% of my money is cash or long-term blue chip assets, and I'm matching the returns of the best performing hedge fund of all time, guys. This is what's happening. This is what decentralized finance offers to us. Okay. Oh, by the way, you want to know the best part of this? That's cash flowing. I can take my profits out monthly, weekly, even daily, okay, and turn it into stablecoins, turn it into cash, turn it whatever I want, and it will not impact this overall strategy. This 39.6% per year is assuming you're milking this. That's not reinvesting any of your money. If you were to reinvest it, this would go up a lot, okay? So again, to be clear, I'm not claiming any particular returns. I'm not, full disclosures. I'm not doing it. I'm not guaranteeing results or anything. I'm just showing you how the math works out when we can get access to yield farms that actually are able to pay us this amount. And you saw me build a yield farm that's paying 400% per year, 400+% per year, okay? So again, that's the power of what's going on here, right? And this is what I would consider a pretty conservative approach, right? You got 70% of your money is cash. Let's look at the other side of the spectrum. What about a more aggressive yield farming approach? I took the more aggressive yield farming approach. And some of the people who take our class choose to go this approach, okay? And once you understand the risks and you're educated on it, we're all adults, you're prepared to actually go out and do this yourself, right? So in this example, all right, I want to start out by just saying we're going to just be building, in this example, we're going to be building extreme risk yield farms that are paying us 360% per year. It's about 1% per day, approximately 1% per day. And we're going to start out with $5,000. Now, you don't have to start with $5,000. You can start with a lot less. Just for purposes of the example, I want to show you how the math works out if that was the starting point, right? Even if you start less, it just means that the time horizon is a little bit longer. If you start with more, obviously the time horizon gets compressed with this particular strategy, right? So again, we're building high-risk yield farms paying approximately 1% per day. And again, you saw me build one that was 400% per year. So we know they're out there, right? So in this approach, we're going to be using the profits from this and reinvesting that into new yield farms, okay? And we're going to be doing this consistently and we're going to do this every single week, effectively, right? So in this approach, what starts as $5,000 over 4 months in this approach turns into $14,280. Okay, $14,280. That's again earning 1% per day is $150 per day. $150 per day is $54,000 a year in passive income, assuming that it didn't grow anymore, assuming it just stopped right there. Okay, that's a salary, folks. That's a salary in passive income that's possible here. All right. Now, that's after 4 months. What would happen? What would happen after 6 months? So day one, right? 4 months. This is what it looks like: $54,000 per year in passive income. What about adding an additional 2 months? So we got 6 months in since we built our first yield farm with this exact strategy. It turns into $100,000 a year in passive income. Okay, that's the power. That's the power of actually doing this. That's the power of what you're seeing here. Okay, now again, I'm not promising any results. I'm just showing you how the math works out. Okay, how the math works out when we actually have yielding opportunities like what we're seeing in decentralized finance. Okay. All right, so now we know secret number 3, right? We know the monopoly strategy for consistent passive income. All right, we know how to consistently make passive income with a yield farming portfolio of farms monopoly strategy. Okay, so what are the 3 secrets? Let's break this down again for ourselves really quickly. What are the 3 secrets to yield farming, right? So secret number 1, the $17 trillion opportunity. Now we know what yield farming is, we know how it works, and we know why this is the beginning of a $17 trillion financial revolution. Secret number 2, we know how to build a yield farm in under 30 minutes. Step-by-step guide to help anybody, beginners to experts, set up their first yield farm in under 30 minutes with as little as $100. And secret number 3, the monopoly strategy for consistent passive income. Okay, we know now how to make life-changing passive income through the yield farming portfolio of farms strategy. Okay, so I've obviously talked to people about my results, and a lot of people keep asking. This is a bit of a bonus. Dave asked me to include this for tonight, and so what I'm going to share with you is an aggressive approach, and this is the approach that I took. Okay, to actually building out my own yield farms. And what I did is I actually my exact approach was very close to this. I happened to take more profits. I didn't reinvest as aggressively because I needed money to live off of. But this is the approach where I want to show you how this actually grows from a relatively small investment into a pretty crazy amount of money and passive income pretty quickly. Okay, and so what I want to talk about is literally how do we build one yield farm and then use the profits from that yield farm to build another yield farm, and then use the profits to build another yield farm and have it grow from there. So we're going to show us how does the math actually work out where the profits get reinvested into building each yield farm. Okay, and again, we're going with the strategy of this. You know, you could do the same strategy with a less risky approach as well. But we're going to use the example of the extreme risk approach to actually doing this. Okay, and so in this example, we are building one yield farm with $5,000, and that's going to be earning us 1% per day. So it's going to earn us $50 per day. Okay, so after 10 days, I've got $500 in profits that I'm going to use to build yield farm number 2. Okay, so now I've got yield farm number 1 earning me $50 a day. I've got yield farm number 2 that I built with $500 that's earning 1% per day, earning me $5 a day. Okay, that's after 10 days. After 20 days, I've got another $500 from that initial investment, right? So I take that other $500 and I build a third yield farm that again is earning 1% per day. So now I've got, again, 5,000 earning $50 a day, 500 earning $5 a day, and another yield farm with $500 in it earning $5 a day. Okay. Now, after another 10 days, I've got another $500. Okay. So I'm going to take that $500, but I'm also going to take the $100 because this yield farm has been mining for 20 days, has been working for 20 days and earning $5 a day. That's $100 from yield farm number 2. So I took the profits out of that. And the profits out of yield farm number 1, which is $50, $10 at $5 a day is $50. And I'm going to put all that money, which is $650, into yield farm number 4. Do you see what's happening? This spider web approach, I am diversifying my holdings, right? I'm diversifying my holdings, so I'm not relying on one yield farm, and I'm developing multiple income streams simultaneously. Okay, so this is the approach that I took, right? And I did this for several months of reinvesting. Then after a while, I started to pull some cash out. I still reinvested and built some more out, and I'll tell you exactly where my strategy differed. So after, I want to talk about this real quick. So let me break it down for you again, right? After 1 month, I've got yield farm number one with $5,000 earning 1% per day. That's $50 a day. Yield farm number 2, 3, and 4, or sorry, yield farm number 2 and 3 with $50 a day. And each of those is paying me $5 a day. And then yield farm number 4, because we took the profits from all of this and are still earning 1% per day, are earning $6.50 per day. So we got $5 a day, and the last one's earning $6.50 per day. Okay, do you see that growth? That's important. You're going to see a lot of that. That's $6.50 a day. Okay, so that means I now have $6,650 at work for me, earning $67 per day. $67 per day, $24,000 a year in passive income. Okay, that's after 1 month. Let's see where it goes. Again, applying that same approach, that spiderweb approach, where we're reinvesting the money, right? So after 2 months, right, we reinvested. After 2 months, yield farms 5 and 6, we took the profits from that $6.50 a day and built it out to, so these are $650 farms. And then if you see here, yield farm number 7, we took all the profits and put that into yield farm number 7. And that's $695 for that yield farm, again, earning 1% a day. So it's about $7 a day. So we went from earning $5 a day to $6.50 a day to $7 a day. Total value of $7,745 that we have at work for us, earning $88 a day, annual passive income of $32,000. Okay, and let's project this forward, right? After 3 months, right? Now we're cash flowing to the tune of $110 per day, earning passive income of $40,000. Same concept, reinvesting, building out more farms, right? This is what I did. This is my approach. This is exactly how I did this. So same approach here. Now we've got it cash flowing to $139 a day, earning $50,000 per year in passive income. After 5 months, $178 per day, $64,000 per year. 6 months, $228 per day, and $83,000 per year in passive income. Okay, right here, about 22 yield farms. Okay, right here, look at where this grew, right? We started at $5 a day. This grows all the way to the last yield farm number 22 is paying out $26 a day in income. Okay, and we're earning, so it's cash flowing $293 a day. $293 a day, assuming no additional growth. Stop right there. It doesn't grow anymore. That produces $106,000 a year. That's a fantastic salary in passive income, folks. Okay, I spend about an hour and a half to 2 hours a week yield farming. Not anymore. Okay, this is not oh, I have to do this full time. You can, and you probably make more money, but you can do this without a huge time commitment. Okay, so by the way, this is where I stopped. I didn't grow out any further yield farms. What I would do is going forward, because 22 yield farms, that's sufficiently diversified. You don't need 100 yield farms. 22 is enough because there's diminishing returns. You don't get as much benefit of diversification as you go out like build 30 different yield farms. It doesn't work like that. So about 20 to 25 is my range, and it makes it totally manageable and it fits into my schedule, my lifestyle. And so again, at this point, for the following months, we would just reinvest our money into the other yield farms that are doing well. We don't need to build any more yield farms. So we just take the profits and plug it back into the yield farms that we like the most. Okay. After 15 months of taking this approach, we are cash flowing $3,000 a day. $3,000 a day, earning passive income of $1 million a year. That's what's possible here, folks. And it's not just me. There's lots of people that are going out and doing this. Okay. This is like nothing I've ever seen before in my entire life. Okay. So that's kind of, again, where my strategy derivated is once I got to about 22 yield farms, I started pulling money out and living off of it. And so, I'm not reinvesting everything, but if you were to reinvest, this is how it grows. Okay. this is what's possible here. Okay. So I got a question for you. If you had a proven business model for making money, plus a step-by-step guide on exactly how to execute it, plus a strategy for how to set all this up and have it bring it all together, do you think this could work for you? Okay, let me ask you a quick question. You might be feeling like this right now. You might be thinking, well, okay, there's something really special here. There's decentralized finance. There might be something really big here happening. Yield farming might be the future, but you think you might be able to figure this out for yourself, but you'd love to get my help with it. If it's okay, I'd love to spend like 10 or 15 minutes just go over a special offer to kind of show you how I can actually help you on an ongoing basis, how to figure this whole thing out. So if it's okay, maybe a show of hands or some indication that I don't want to move forward unless it's you guys are okay with me kind of sharing an offer here. Maybe a show of hands or something like that. Anybody? Okay. Yes, perfect. Thank you very much. Okay, great. So, when I decided I wanted to kind of build a business that taught others how to do this, I sat down and I thought really hard about all the problems and pain that I went through to figure this out, that I struggled with, okay? And I wanted to develop a system and tools to help solve each of those problems so you don't have to go through the same pain that I did to kind of get to this level of knowledge and this ability to kind of yield farm, okay? So when I decided to do this, that's what I did. I built every tool necessary to help ensure and help make you successful with this, okay? And that's what I want to share with you. Is how can I, as fast as possible, make this is my best plan to help make you a successful yield farmer as quickly as possible, least amount of pain, okay? And so what did that break down to? So first, it's my yield farming masterclass. Okay, this is where I literally teach you every strategy, every tactic, which I use to be able to successfully yield farm, which can help you to achieve this life-changing passive income, okay? And this 6-week yield farming masterclass, it breaks down to 6 main sections, right? Overview and strategies, the tools. Week 3, we talk about how to identify yield farm. Week 4, we walk you through creating your first yield farm. Week 5, we teach you how to actually track your results. We cover how to actually manage all your different farms, okay? And again, this is not just for me, right? Ewan from Sacramento. I like Ewan. Ewan's a bit of a skeptic like I am. And he says, I'm usually pretty skeptical of everything I come across, but I tried out Boss and was surprised by how much you can make off yield farming. David from Las Vegas. So David's actually interesting. David was part of, he'd been trading in cryptocurrencies for some time. He actually had cryptocurrencies, but he wanted to start earning income from them. And David said, yield farming is amazing. And Boss has been awesome in helping me figure out how to start yield farming quickly. Nikki from Danville. From start to finish, this guide was specific and easy to follow. I'm so excited to have a way to make passive income. Now I can sit back and watch it grow. And Brian from San Diego. The ability to earn passive income this easily seems like a no-brainer. So really, who does this work for? Guys, who does this really work for, right? Well, let's say you're a beginner. You don't know anything about cryptocurrencies. This will work for you. Let's say you're intermediate. Maybe you even own some cryptocurrencies. Maybe you've even tried trading some cryptocurrencies before, but you want to learn how to earn passive income from this. This is an awesome course for you as well. And maybe you're advanced. Maybe you have already yield farmed before, but you want to have a more deliberate approach to managing your risk and building out your portfolio. This is an awesome course for you as well. Okay, so here's what you're going to get, right? My 6-week yield farming masterclass, total value of $2,997. One of the other problems that I came across when I first started yield farming, it's a stupid problem to have, but it is a problem, was just being able to track all the different farms. you know, and you know, I'm actually not that organized person, so I had to develop a system to be able to track all this stuff, and that's why I developed my yield farm tracking template. This tool is able to take what is a big problem and it handles this beautifully. Helps you understand what you need to focus on, what you don't need, what's not important, right? So with this, you'll be able to track yield farms as effectively as possible, and ultimately maximize profits. It's actually helpful in helping you to plan out and plan ahead of the yield farms you're anticipating building next. Okay, and that's what my tracking template is designed specifically to help you do. So, by the way, we use this ourselves. Okay, we use this. I use this on a daily basis. Okay, or weekly basis. And with this, you're going to be able to avoid losing money, get rid of losing money from disorganization. Again, forgetting where a yield farm is an actual problem. It's a real thing you need to be concerned with. This handles that, and also wasting time trying to figure out what to track and what to ignore. There's a lot of different pieces of information. What do you need to focus on? Okay, so this stuff can get really confusing. If you're not very organized, you can lose a lot of money. So this helps you know what to track. It helps you know how to track it. It helps you know how to access this information fast. This tool turns you into a veteran level yield farmer instantly. Okay, so here's what you can get, right? My 6-week yield farming masterclass, my yield farm tracking template, total value of $4,994. Okay, so some of you might be wondering, okay, that's great, but like, how exactly do you do this? How precisely do you, step by step, from beginning to end, how do you do this? Well, that's why we built our step-by-step guides. They'll be able to help you handle any scenario you come across when it comes to yield farming, right? So this is, by the way, this is how, what you're looking at behind there, that's a diagram of yield farming, okay? It's anytime you're early in a technology, if you don't have a clear blueprint of exactly how to do it and handle it, it can be really confusing, really painful process to try to figure this out by yourself, right? So my step-by-step guides help you avoid all that pain by walking you through literally every possible scenario you're going to come across, right? And by the way, this is the secret. This is the secret behind why I'm able to help anybody. It doesn't matter if you don't know how to yield farm or don't know anything about cryptocurrencies. These guides will give you the exact details of what you need. It's like, go to this website, scroll down the page, click here, click on this button, put a number in here, click up here. Like, it handles all those things, okay? Handles any scenario, any situation you're going to come across with yield farm, right? So everything, what do they cover? Like, how do we build a farm? How do we buy a token? How do I track my results? How do I harvest my farms? How do I send crypto? How do I draw my funds? How do I connect my bank account? Right, et cetera, all those different things. We are able to handle any scenario for you, okay? Now, again, remember the Lego example? If you can follow a Lego example, you can do this, okay? Something that seems totally impossible, okay, like building a huge Lego set, becomes totally manageable when you have that step-by-step guide on exactly how to do that, okay? Anybody can do this. Remember, I'm trying to give you every tool I wish that I had to help make you successful with this, okay? Okay, so here's what you're gonna get, right? My 6-week yield farming masterclass, my yield farm tracking template, my yield farm step-by-step guides, total value of $7,491, okay? But where are you gonna get the money for this to start out? This is the exact problem that I had, is I didn't have enough capital to even get started, okay? And that's why we developed our funding hacks guide, okay? So when I was starting out, I didn't have much cash, but I needed to be able to get access to more capital. And so, you know, I spent several weeks trying to figure this out, lost lots of money, and chose some wrong platforms, made a bunch of stupid mistakes. And that's exactly why we built these guides, to handle that scenario for you, okay? And so with this, you're going to be able to help get access to some initial capital, right? Help you get access to even more initial capital, and help you avoid losing money from totally avoidable mistakes and wasting time, okay? Again, I'm trying to give you every tool that I wish that I had to help make you successful here. Okay, so here's what you're going to get. My 6-week yield farming masterclass, my yield farm tracking template, my yield farm step-by-step guides, my yield farming funding hacks, total value of $9,988. what if you have a question? Totally reasonable, right? You have all these guides, research. Sometimes it's just helpful to be able to ask somebody, hey, I'm stuck on this. Hey, can you help me out here? Okay. And that's why we developed our Boss Financial private Facebook group. Okay. This is for paid members only of our community. Okay. And with this, right, with this private Facebook group, this community is designed to help you ask questions. You want to ask questions? You can ask your questions in here and get answers quickly. You want support for something? That's what this is really designed for, okay? And also, you're also able to start learning from other yield farmers here. Okay, one of the things that I actually love about our community is I learned stuff from here. We've got awesome yield farmers that we've taken through this training who are now sharing back opportunities into the community that I actually will use sometimes. Okay, that's the beauty of this, is we're in this together. I wish I had a team. I didn't want to do this by myself. It sucked doing this by myself. And that's why we developed our community. We are in this together. We're the good guys here, okay? We're the people that are trying to show others that you can take your financial control back, okay? Fight against traditional banks and the results that they've given us, and actually earn amazing income from this, okay? So with this, right, you're going to be able to get your questions rapidly answered, okay? We are also going to be able to connect with other yield farmers to be able to share ideas. One of the other things that people really enjoy, and I didn't originally anticipate this, but people really enjoy connecting with others in the community who see this future together, who are at the forefront of this shift and this massive shift in financial markets. Okay, so building those lasting relationships is something really people have valued a lot. And certainly I have as well. And with this, you'll be able to get rid of the pain and hassle of trying to figure all this stuff out on your own and wasting time trying to track down, figure out problems all by yourself, right? You've got a team and a community behind you to help make you successful here, okay? So here's what you're gonna get. My 6-week yield farming masterclass, my yield farm tracking templates, my yield farm step-by-step guides, my yield farm funding hacks, and the Boss private Facebook group, 6 months access to that absolutely free. Total value of $11,485. So I got a question. If all this did was to help teach you how to consistently earn 20% interest on your money, would it be worth it? If all it did was make you an expert on an emerging industry that can be worth $17 trillion, would it be worth it? If all this did was to help you build one farm, just one farm that was paying you $100 every day, would it be worth it? So when I was building out this kind of program, I had two choices. I could go as cheaply as possible and try to sell as many as possible, but frankly, that wouldn't really incentivize me to try to stack as much value as I could. The second option requires a little higher investment, but in exchange, I can devote more resources to help ensure that you're successful, okay? So what would the end result be worth, right? Let's talk about this. What would the end result actually be worth? Okay, what is one farm earning you passive income worth? Is it worth $5,000? Is it worth $10,000? Is it worth more? How much do you pay to get one farm that's earning you 100% return on investment every year in passive income? I can tell you what it cost me. It cost me over $57,000 and hundreds of hours of work to figure out what I now know, okay? And now I'm making over $1,800 a day in passive income with yield farming. So now you can see why VCs and professional investors pay me $3,000 an hour to learn this stuff. It's not that they look at it as a cost, but because they look at it as an investment. So now you can see why this is a good deal at $5,000. You also see why it's a great deal at $19.97. But because you guys are here, you stuck with me to the end, I appreciate that. We're going to offer this to you today for $997, okay? If you want to get access to this offer, go right now to this website, learnformked.com. Go there right now to sign up to actually lock in this particular price. And this is the normal price, by the way. We're giving it to you for half price. Normally, we charge $19.97 for this, okay? So you're getting for this package right now for half the price. Now you can wait on this and pay twice as much later on. I don't know why you do that, but that's what we're dealing with. It's a substantial discount from what normal offer here. So my challenge for you is this, and it's actually pretty simple. Join this program and build just one farm. Now I say one farm because I've seen it happen again and again. I've seen what happened to me. When I built that first farm, everything clicked. It redefined what I thought I knew about money. It redefined what I thought I knew my money could go out and do for me. Okay. Remember, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. This is my best guess at that. This is it. And it's proven. Okay. So I say this, go out and give yourself that gift. Go out and build that one farm. When I built that first farm, everything was the world. And I've seen it with other people who go through our course. When they build that first farm, it's one thing to see me present this stuff and, oh yeah, he's doing it, but it's a whole other thing. When you do it for yourself and you start making money for yourself in this way, everything shifts, guys. Everything is different. Okay. Now I've given you every single tool that I wish that I had to help make you successful here. Okay. So now you really have two choices, right? The first option is to do nothing, not take this leap of faith, which is 100% risk-free. Or the second option, which is to pony up this small investment today compared to all the value that you're actually getting and give this a shot. Give yourself that gift, that simple gift of building one farm for yourself. That one farm changed my life. I see everything differently now. And I've seen it happen time and time again for others who go through our course. Okay. By the way, if I can't make you money, I don't deserve to have your money. Okay. Which is why we offer a no questions asked 30-day money back guarantee. Okay. Sign up today. If you don't like it for whatever reason, you're too busy to get into it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you want your money back, you come back to me on day 29, 23 hours, 59 minutes from now, we will give you your money back. Okay. So the real question is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check this out? Which again, if it does half of what I'm claiming on today's training, can pay for itself as soon as your first farm is live. Okay, so here's what you're going to get, right? My 6-week yield farming masterclass, my yield farm tracking template, my yield farm step-by-step guides, my yield farming funding hacks, and Boss private Facebook group 6 months absolutely free. Total value of $11,485 that you're getting today for $997. Okay. But I'm going to sweeten it. For the first 50 people that sign up, okay, first 50 people that actually sign up, I'm going to actually give you the Ked's personal yield farming pick list. This is like the layup. This is like the yield farming layup. Okay. These are farms that I and my team have gone through and personally selected, which fit into all different risk categories, not just one category, all the different risk categories that we've assembled through our research that will give you a easy pathway to even get started in this play and actually start yield farming. Okay, this is like the above and beyond, like how do we ensure that you guys are successful? It's like this is the layup right here. Okay, so again, this is not for everybody. You're here today. This is a special just for the webinar offer. So that bonus, you've got to sign up right now. So again, go to learnfromked.com right now to actually get access to all these offers. Okay, so again, here's what you're going to get, right? My 6-week yield farming masterclass, my yield farming tracking template, my yield farming step-by-step guides, my yield farming funding hacks, Boss private Facebook group for 6 months absolutely free, and my bonus, my Ked's personal yield farming portfolio picks. Again, special offer for the first 50 people. Total value of $11,485 that you're getting for $997 today. Okay, so with that, I am going to take a pause, and I want to open this up for questions. Again, if you want this offer, go to Learn from Ked. That's the URL right here. See we're on my screen. Learnfromked.com right now in order to be able to jump on this and get access to this offer right now.
Thank you so much, Kedrick. This is amazing just to see the potential of being able to get a high return and then just turn that high return into a diversified portfolio. You know, and the examples you gave are spot on. I mean, it's just amazing. So, guys, this is an opportunity. In my opinion, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. What has happened right now is the whole world of finance has been kind of disassembled. And now what that allows us to do is step in and receive the types of returns that banks and investment banks and hedge funds have heretofore gotten, you know, kept keeping us out and making those returns themselves.
Yeah.
And now because of decentralized just means there's no one party that's in the middle anymore. We can be the middleman, so to speak. And there is massive competition for our money. You know, as much or as little money as you want to put into this, there's massive competition for it. It doesn't matter if you have $100, $1,000, $100,000. There's competition for your money, and they will pay dearly to be able to provide this liquidity. So it's a really exciting time to be into this stuff.
Yeah.
So go ahead,
Kendrick. There's a reason why big banks have turned into some of the biggest corporations in the world. It's because they happen to have really great ways to make money. And now, I mean, they don't love this, but it's the world is changing, and now we can get rid of the middleman, and now we have the opportunity to earn money in ways that only they have been able to in the past. So, you know, this is it's pretty wild stuff. Again, if you've not already done so, please go to learnfromked.com to sign up. I would love the opportunity to kind of bring you into the community and bring you into the team. We're doing this together, guys. This is a movement that we are building. Okay. And I'd love the opportunity to train you on this stuff and eventually get you good enough so that you can help share opportunities back in this. That's one of the things I love about our community is there's a lot of value to us specifically from that, just learning from other people and getting into learning some of these opportunities. So with that, I want to open it up for questions. I know that we've had some questions come in. I don't know, Dave. I don't know if you're looking at them. Maybe you can fire off some of those questions.
Yeah, let me ask some of these questions here. Starting at the beginning, Darwin asked the question, "How do you bridge assets to another network?" And he also asked, "How do you get out of a farm when liquidity is depleting?"
Yeah,
a little bit more advanced questions, but hey.
No, these are great questions. These are great questions. By the way, so you wanted to see, here's money, as promised, we're making money. So I'm checking this right here. So what I recommend is, depending on the types of farms, and if you're concerned about liquidity, you want to be more on top of it in terms of selling those profits consistently for something that you want to hold, right? So I personally sell it for stable coins and Ethereum. That's me. Those are my kind of long-term assets of like, I want cash, I want Ethereum. Sometimes I'll dabble in Bitcoin as well, but I'm taking a lot of my profits and turning it into those into those types of assets. So what you want to do is you need to be diligent. If you're concerned that a farm is going to be losing its liquidity, by the way, really smart question, really good question. But if you're concerned about that, you need to be in front of that liquidity drain. And so the way to do that is be consistent. I recommend at least once a day checking in on those types of farms where you have a high concern about that and actually doing that. And also the other thing to kind of call out is a lot of times projects will tell you when the liquidity rewards are starting to dry up. And so you actually can, it's really easy. Go on to Discord, go to the Discord for that particular project and just ask the developers, hey, what is the schedule? What is the reward schedule for when you guys are going to be decreasing the liquidity provider rewards? And then look at that schedule and be in front of it, right? So if the main liquidity rewards are going to drop, next Sunday, I'm withdrawing certainly my profits and potentially all my LP tokens on Saturday and going and building something else. Okay, great questions. And the second question was, how do you bridge to another blockchain? So I'm going to pull up. So you guys saw me farming on Avalanche. Bridge.avax.network. This is a great site to actually do that. So all you do is you connect your wallet, your decentralized wallet. I'll go next. Connect. And you choose the token that you want to actually bridge over. So I might bridge over Ethereum. I might bridge over any major tokens. If Ethereum, USDC, I'd recommend doing those. Or if you have some Avalanche on Ethereum network, bridging it over to the Avalanche network. Those are great choices. The cool thing about bridging to Avalanche is if you bridge over $75, they will actually give you about 15 to 20 bucks worth of free tokens to help pay for gas fees when you do it the first time. So
That's cool.
So I highly recommend bridge.avax.network. And every blockchain will have a different and by this is something we cover in the actual training, right? So we have, one of the first things we do when you go through the training is we help you bridge from Ethereum to Polygon, which is another great blockchain to be able to yield farm on. And so it is important. Fees on Ethereum are no joke. They are high. No, some of the best yield farming opportunities are definitely on Ethereum, but you definitely need to bridge to other blockchains, and that's why we cover it in the actual masterclass.
Now, if you can, for the newbies, help us understand just the concept of what is bridging when you're bridging from one blockchain to another blockchain. Just like fifth grade.
Yeah, no problem. So what that means is you can think of a blockchain as like rails, like rails of like a train rails, and all the cryptocurrencies that are on there are stuck on those rails. Right? If you wanted to take a train car, you can't just be like, oh, I'm just gonna like drive it over to the other rails. You can't do that, right? You have to pick the train car up and move it over to the other rails and put it down on the other rails. Blockchains are like rails, and so when you're bridging assets, what you're doing is it's kind of like a train car that you're picking up and putting onto a brand new set of rails. And once it's there, then you're able to go out and operate on that blockchain and do your thing, right? So that's the key. There is it is a way to just think about and go out and move assets safely over to a new blockchain. You can't just send it there, right? You have to bridge it. And that means you have to go to a specific website like a bridge like this to do it. You can't just be like, oh, I'm going to just send it to another blockchain. It doesn't work that way. It has to be bridged. And there's specifically some technical things that they're handling for you to take your assets from one blockchain, pick that train car up and move it over there, right? So you can't just as much as it wouldn't make sense if you wanted to just drive a train car onto a new set of rails. Same exact thing. You can't just do that. You gotta do it in the proper, safe way.
It reminds me of those train switches, right? You've got a train going this way, and then there's like a little switch, so the train moves over to the next rail.
Yeah.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, that's not a bad way to think about it.
Okay, Boyette asks, will you teach us different networks? And the second question he asks is, can a beginner do this?
So the answer is, I've got lots and lots of examples of people who did not know what a cryptocurrency was. They're starting at zero. Our course is designed to I'm not trying to make you a professor of yield farming, okay? But I'm trying to get you the necessary information so that you can yield farm profitably. So the answer is absolutely yes. I've got tons of examples of people who knew nothing about cryptocurrencies, and we break it down for you so you're not playing guesswork, right? Literally every single step is broken down for you. It's like, we're explicit in terms of exactly what you have to do. So there's no guesswork in there, okay? And then the background information we're providing you, some basic information. Again, we're not trying to make you a college professor on this stuff. We're just trying to give you the necessary information to be able to let you yield farm profitably. And the second part of your question is, yes, one of the first things we actually do is teach you how to specifically take your funds from Ethereum blockchain and move them over to the Polygon blockchain, where fees are negligible, 10 cents to do a transaction or less. Nice.
Yeah, and those guides, I've been in the course, and those guides are super helpful, the step-by-step guides to walking you little step by step through every process. It's really amazing how simple you make it. And that's one of the reasons I like working with you, Kedrick, is because you are a great teacher of this stuff. It's one thing to like get somebody excited about something and then just kind of like throw them to the wolves. it's a whole nother thing to guide them step by step through this stuff. It's pretty good.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, look, guys, this is a we're at the beginning of a personal finance revolution, and like the wealth gap in the world is a big problem. It's a big problem, and we've gotten screwed by big guys for a long time. I hate bullies, and I feel like there's some certain industries that are bullies, and this is the ability for us to take this power back and actually do this ourselves, okay, and create the types of lifestyles that we deserve to have, right? And so that's why this knowledge is just, why I have to share this with people. It'd be wrong for me not to be teaching people this, because it's that impact. It has had that much impact on my own life, and so I want to just call that out.
It can literally change lives, and that's what I see in you, Kedrick. Is you're here to change lives. You're here to help people and serve people, and that shows through. So that's exciting when you know that somebody wants you to be successul. It makes a big difference.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons why we do office hours too. We don't include it. We don't typically talk about it in when we talk about the special offer stuff, but it's what we do office hours where it's live, and people come from our community, come in. We just talk shop, and you know, we tend to kind of talk. If people are stuck on something, we'll handle those first, but then we just talk about yield farming. We kind of nerd out on yield farming, and you know, it's fun, guys. The fact of the matter is, it's actually really fun. We're building money machines. We're building online money machines with a couple clicks. Okay, that's making us money. Like it's as much fun as you could imagine having. I mean, for a little amount of work to be able to earn the types of money that's possible here is like nothing I've ever seen. So again, if and I want to call this out, if you've not already done so, go to learnfromked.com. This URL right here, maybe Dave, I don't know if you posted that link in the chat.
Let me put that in there again.
Okay, yeah. So go to learnfromked.com right now to get access to this offer right now. If again, we're not going to be able to have this up forever. So to get access at this price point, again, 6-week yield farm masterclass, my yield farm tracking templates, my yield farm step-by-step guides, my yield farm funding hacks, the boss private Facebook group, 6 months free. Okay. All the stuff that I wish that I had when I was getting started that we're giving to you guys at $11,485 that we're giving you $997 today. Okay. So this is normally the price is twice as much of this. It's a very good offer. And so go right now to Learn from Ked if you want to use. And again, this bonus offer of personal yield farming picks. Yeah, that's not normally offered. Okay. So that's a special offer right now.
And I want to congratulate those of you that have enrolled already. We have a few people enrolled already. And
nice.
Congratulations. This is life-changing. I don't have the names. I wish I did have the names. I could call out your names right now, but I see that we've got some enrollments already. So let me go on to the next question. Randy said, can you give some examples of the lower risk farms?
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. We'll give you guys a little sneak peek into some of the stuff that we share in our guides. So you have to have lots and lots of, there's no end all be all for sourcing yield farms. You have to have lots of tools. Okay. And so I'm going to show you one that I like. That's a good one. It's not comprehensive though. There's lots of different yield farm opportunities. And so you have to have lots of different tools. In fact, there's kind of the master one, the best one that I've ever found, which I'm not going to share that one right now, but I'm going to share one of the ones that I like. It's called, okay. So this is a good one. Okay. And I'll blow this up for you guys a little bit more. Why is it so small? Sorry. Oh, okay. All right. So this is a good one. It allows you to kind of sort different farms. So let's look at, so lower risk. What is lower risk? Remember how do we define lower risk, right? Lower risk and medium risk. Lower risk is just like we're depositing in something like a Celsius or a BlockFi, pretty low, again, it's 8.5%, right? Easy to do. Everybody should do that. Like, let's say you don't sign up. Let's say you don't believe in yield farming. It's just like, whatever. I don't know. This guy, he talks too fast and I just don't like him, whatever. It's not for me, right? At least go and sign up for Celsius or like a BlockFi and earn 8% on your money, on cash. There's no reason not to do that. You're losing. So hopefully, if nothing more, you'll go and actually do that at least. And so that's kind of the lower risk here. Let's talk medium risk. Okay, this is where we're operating DeFi. Okay, you need to have the knowledge to be able to do this for sure. And you need to understand the risks. We're operating DeFi. We're holding stable coins though, so we don't care what Bitcoin or Ethereum or the general market does. We don't care because we're holding stable. We're holding cash. You can think of it as cash. No different. Okay, so like USDC, BUSD, GUSD, DAI, all are very high quality stable coins. And so with this site, right, what we can do, so we can see here. Here's some examples. I don't like Tether. I have owned Tether. I don't love it though. There are some risks with Tether I just don't like. But you can see here, this is DAI. This is high quality stablecoin. Why is that doing that? 26% return.
Wow.
BUSD, 29% return. Okay. Let's do this. Let's look here. Let's go stablecoins only. Let's sort by stablecoins. I'm going to zoom out to give you guys an idea of like the full tool. Hopefully it's not too small. So Anchor Protocol. Love Anchor Protocol. UST, high quality stablecoin, paying 19% per year. Guys, if you have a better, by the way, if you have a better way to build money machines this fast and produce this kind of income, I would love to hear it. Like I'm in the market for those. So if there's a better solution, is there a better way to earn passive income? Please let me know. This is the best thing I've ever seen in terms of being able to offer this for you. Okay, so here you go. There you go. There's the BUSD, the 29%. And then we're just sorting by APY right now on this particular tool.
Now, just to help clarify and help give context, because I'm always thinking like a newbie, because frankly I am kind of a newbie here at this, right? This is like if you were to store your dollar bills and make 29% on dollar bills.
You are not locked up.
It's a stable coin, meaning that the coin is pegged to the value of the dollar.
Yes.
And it's very secure for reasons Kedrick could explain, but the point is that this is like making 29% on cash.
On cash.
Yeah.
You tell people that in traditional finance, and they'll call you a liar.
Right.
Right. They're going to call you a liar. But the fact is, I mean, we're seeing it. This is out there. We've built a hedge fund. I founded a hedge fund that's actually doing this for kind of institutional money that people are trying to do because they realize this is the real deal. Okay, so This is not just because they're on their old antiquated way of approaching it and they don't want to think that new things are possible. This is possible, and there's all kinds of really cool intricacies of why this is happening in terms of decentralized finance that is making this possible. Okay, but yeah, here you go. This is, I would consider these medium risk farms. We're looking at 5 different medium risk farms, all above 20. Well, that's 24.45%, between 25%. So right in that range, right? So that range, those ranges of between medium or lower risk and extreme risk, those ranges, that's what we go by as yield farmers. If we don't get a yield farmer that's paying us that amount of money, we're not building it because we know we can go put our money someplace else for the same amount of risk that's paying us more, or less risk that's paying us approximately the same amount. Okay, so people always ask, when do you actually break down a yield farm? But yeah, so here you go. Here's some examples of stablecoin farms that I would consider. Again, I don't care what Bitcoin or Ethereum do. I'm still making my money here. Okay.
Right.
So again,
and that's a big point, by the way. Just before, and that is, the market is going to go up and down. The market's going to fluctuate, but you're in these stable coins that can still give you 29%, and that's like, if you were in the regular centralized finance world, this would be like a money market fund.
It would be like that in terms of the fact that you're not locked up, right? You can take your money out immediately. It's cash. The only difference is like that's like the best hedge funds of all time type returns holding cash. It's like it's
exactly
it's insane. It's
it
insane.
Doesn't even exist.
Yeah. So that's why this is. You want to know why DeFi is exploding? It's because this type of stuff is actually possible. Okay, guys. Again, if you have not already done so, please go to learnfromked.com right here, that URL, to sign up right now and get access to this offer. Again, total value $11,485 that you're getting for $997 today. Okay,
it's incredible.
So I love hard questions. People have some really hard questions. Let's have.
Yeah, he loves answering the tough questions. Here's one. John Hall asks, how about reinvesting to compounding? This was probably in during your presentation, so I'm not sure the context on that.
Yeah. Okay. I don't usually get, this is again another resource from the guys. I don't usually go this far into it, but since you're asking for it, I'll give it to you guys. Again, you got to have lots and lots of places to be able to find yield farms. Okay. Beefy Finance is a good one. I like Beefy Finance. This is what's called an auto compounder. Okay. What does that mean? What that means is what they're doing. So let's see, I'll just search by APY. Okay. Okay. This is a yield farm between these two tokens, Wine and MIM. MIM is a good quality stable coin. Wine is, I'm actually not familiar with that particular token. Its APY is 7,000% per year return. Now, normally 7,000% per year return, I'd be like, that's something funky's going on. But what this actually is it's a what they're doing is they're taking your yield farming profits. Okay, they're taking your profits and they are selling those profits and buying more LP tokens and depositing them. Okay, and so what that does is it has the effect of compound interest. Okay, so in this instance, you know, this farm is actually paying 1.179% per year. Now, 1.179% per year, let's just do the math on that really quick.
Oh, per day.
Yeah, so what is that? It's a point here. So 1.17% per year times 365, that's 420% per year return. Okay, but that's not 7,000% per year return. Why is there that difference? Well, this is the difference between APR and APY. APY, what this does, because you are turning your profits into the underlying asset, what it does is it means you're earning interest on interest. You get compound interest. And so that's where this stuff gets really crazy. You know, that 1% per day turns into, you know, thousands of a percent per year. And so it's a really, really, and there's, in fact, one of the first yield farms that I recommend for people to check out and potentially build is specifically doing that. There's a compound interest component to it, which makes it so that the AP, your returns in a 12-month period of time are absolutely bonkers. So
what you like about this is it's safer than some of these crazy DeFi 2.0 projects, but you can still get a really nice, juicy return.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a good, like, let's see, let me sort by APY. Let's sort by APY. Okay. Yeah, again, you get these returns that are you know, holding, you know, different assets that you know, you're holding. So depending, if you found a farm that you really like the underlying assets in, that's auto compounding, you know, again, what drives risk? What do I need to hold and where do I need to hold it? Right. So what do I need to hold? Or is like the assets that I'm actually holding. If I'm growing LP tokens for assets I want to hold, like, I don't know, Avalanche and USDC, right? Then that means it's automatically selling the profits of whatever that farm is for assets I want to actually hold. So it kind of solves that problem automatically for you. So again, guys, if you haven't already done so, please go to learnfromked.com and sign up right now in order to be able to get access to this price point. A lot of people ask, oh, you know, can I do it later on? This is a special price point. We don't normally offer at this price. Okay. But yeah,
all right.
Dave, would love some other hard questions.
All right, a couple more questions. We're just going down the line here. Darwin asked, what farm can yield 1% daily for 365 days? Needs TVL in tens of millions. Sounds like another advanced question. I think he's being skeptical about, hey, the example he gave of 1% per day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the key there is you do want to rotate your farms, right?
Right.
So let's see here. Let's go back to these examples here. Okay. Where is a, let's go back. Okay. So these are insane APIs. Ignore those. Let's see if we can scroll down and get to more reasonable stuff. So let's see, APY is, let's say it's 300%. Let's see. All right. So why am I not? I might because I'm so zoomed in, I think it's causing me problems.
Oh.
Why is it not giving me the bottom of the site right now? Okay. So the question is, how do you actually achieve that on a sustained basis, right? That 1% per day.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's do this. Let me go back to here. Just go like this. Okay. All right. So here's 650. Fine. The idea here is one, the amount of you don't necessarily need to have liquidity in the tens of millions of dollars. I mean, unless you are, fabulously wealthy, right? Most of these farms, I mean, if you're you shouldn't be putting a ton of money in any one high extreme risk farm. Thousands of dollars, even $10,000, $20,000, that's okay. But like more than that is problematic, in my opinion. And so ultimately, here's the TVL for these types of farms right here, right? $280,000. I can deploy $10,000 into that farm and not severely impact the APY. So it's not going to, I'll be okay. I'll be able to actually milk that. Maybe it drops a little bit, but it's not going to be untenable. And as long as it's still within the range of what I'm looking for extreme risk farms, then what I will keep it in there, right? And I'll oftentimes take take those profits and sell them for some other coins that I want, or take those profits and build a different farm, either comparable risk or lower risk, which is also a great idea. Okay, so it's a great question, by the way. So this is not a knock on the question, is a wonderful question, which is, hey, how do you actually go out and identify, 1% per day that's in the tens of millions of dollars TVL. And aside from like rebasing tokens like Olympus DAO or any of those ones, it's very rare to see in the tens of millions of dollars. I certainly seen plenty that are in the kind of sub $5 million range, because oftentimes they're juicing those rewards, right? But typically what you'll do is you'll milk those rewards, ideally have contacted and understand what the actual reward breakdown is, when they're going to actually stop paying out those rewards, and start pulling your money out and building it and chasing down the next thing. So this is what we do as yield farmers. We are chasing yield. And so by doing that and by rotating your farms, and it's about, every 4 to 6 weeks or so, by rotating your farms, you're able to, again, depending on the strategy you're going for, like if you're going for a strategy of, whatever, you just want to have most of your money is cash, then you can see here, like, if we go and we look at, let's look at stable coins, what's up, right? Here, UST, Anchor Protocol, paying out 19% per year, has a total value locked of $9.8 billion, right? Wow. Let's say I deployed $10 million in there, that's not going to change a thing, okay? Or even here, like on Beefy, UST, USDC, right? Total locked value of $13 million, paying 16% APY. Okay, so again, it just depends on if you're going out for the really risky farms. One, you shouldn't be putting a tremendous amount of money into them, right? You can still deploy a lot of money, but you have to spread it over more farms, right? And that makes it so that the actual TVL doesn't need to be as high as that marker of in the tens of millions of dollars. If you're building out like a few safer farms, like medium risk farms or so, and you're sitting in stable coins, then yeah, you're going to want to see more of a TVL lockup that's in the in the tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. But there's plenty of examples of where you can find those as well.
Yep. Awesome. We got another question from Raymond, and Raymond said, why not, this was during the snowball effect, why not compound or yield farm one only?
Yeah. Well, that was my mistake, is I was doing that. And the problem is there's risks here, folks. Like, what if that farm gets hacked? What if something catastrophic with the project happens and the token value drops? What if this, what if that, right? And so what we're doing by diversifying, regardless of what our strategy is, we use the example of an extreme risk strategy. We're diversifying our holdings, right? And so in that instance, it protects us. If one farm goes down, right? When I first got started, that's what I did. It's like, oh, what's the most profitable one? I'll put all my money there and then I'll just milk that. And then, I got crushed. I got absolutely crushed with that approach. So diversification is absolutely a friend. It might seem like there's, it might seem like more effort, but it's really not. It's not that much more effort. It's really not, especially if you've got a system that shows you where exactly to go, where to find these opportunities, how to think about constructing your yield farm portfolio. But it's a way to decrease our risk while actually still increasing our returns. Diversification is the only free lunch is what they say in finance.
And I got to say, one of the most important things that you get as part of this training and this course that Kedrick provides is Kedrick. So every single time that I talk to him, I learn something new about yield farming. I learn about a new protocol. I learn about a new exchange. I learn a new technique. It's amazing. And so this is a gentleman who has developed $1 million a year passive income through yield farming and has made all the mistakes already. And so you don't have to. And he's also working with creating a hedge fund, and he teaches hedge fund managers this as well. So he has to be on top of everything that has to do with yield farming. And so it's not just that you're hiring somebody that kind of learned it one day and now he's out there teaching it. No. This guy lives it every single day. So I invite you to go to learnfromked.com and get started in this journey. It's an adventure, guys. This is a chance to build generational wealth. We're not just playing around here. This is not some little thing where you can make a few $100 or whatever. This is really your chance. And the way I'm looking at it is, hey, I'm 58. I want to be set, for the rest of my life. I want to be able to build wealth, not just to take care of me, take care of my grandkids, take care of my kids, and that kind of thing. So that's how I'm looking at it. You may have your own reasons, right? Your own reasons why you want to do this. Maybe you've had a bucket list things you wanted to do with your life, and now you've got this chance here just ready for you. So be sure to go to learnfromked.com, get in there, and you can immediately start doing this. I know one of the questions that sometimes comes up is, do I have to wait every week for the next session, to come out? And Kedrick, what do you say to that?
Yeah, no. So the way that we built this is as asynchronous learning, which means that you get all the content there. It's all the videos, all the diagrams, all the guides. Everything is there for you to be able to consume at your own pace. When I was first developing this, I had a specific person in mind, and it's like the single parent, specifically like single moms who they do not have, there's no possible way they have the time to go out and start, build a business or do some of the things that are typically necessary to be able to start trying to earn passive income. But they can carve out little segments of time where they have little breaks. And so we built this to be consumable for that individual person. Now, we've got lots of people who go through the course and jam through it in a matter of days, if not sooner. I think the fastest I've ever seen is about like 24 hours that they got through everything. So it is absolutely possible to go faster, but I wanted to break it down as a very deliberate approach, lesson by lesson, specifically for people who, sensitive, for people who just don't have very much time. And so that's why we broke it down. But you have all the content to be able to use and consume and learn at your whatever speed you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to, you could probably, I'm guessing, you tell me, Kedrick, you could probably consume the whole course in a weekend if you wanted to.
Yeah,
like if
definitely.
You wanted to just get in there and just dig in and become super knowledgeable in one weekend, you could consume the whole course.
Yeah, I've got examples of other people who've done that, and it's it's the back and forth, right? It's like you learn something, you go try it out, and that back and forth. But yeah, I've got lots of examples of people who did specifically that, learned it, jammed through it in 2 days. Yeah.
Yep. Another question from Tim. Tim says, how do you track purchases and sales for income tax purposes?
Great question. So obviously I'm not a tax advisor. So nothing is tax advice, like full disclosures as usual, guys. So what I do personally is I have different wallet addresses set up for different funding purposes. So excuse me, I sneeze. So what I have is I have a yield farming address for my personal yield farming things. I also have a self-directed 401k or self-directed IRA. And that's where I was able to actually convert IRA money into money that I can yield farm with. In fact, I used a service company in Florida, I think, paid a couple $100, and I was able to take investment money into it. So that's really cool. Like that has its own tax benefits in terms of those funds. And so I have multiple different accounts depending on the funding source. With the personal though, the cool thing is since I'm doing all my yield farming through that account, I can take that wallet address to services like Token Tax, give them the wallet address, and because all my transactions are on the blockchain, which is public and visible to everybody, what they do is they look at that wallet address, they pull down all the actual transactions, run it through their software, and then spit out the necessary tax documents. So it's actually pretty easy. If you have it set up properly, it's actually pretty easy to do your taxes against it. And so yes, you should definitely pay your taxes on this. The government definitely wants their money, and for again, not a tax advisor, but most likely they're going to treat this as dividend income when you actually withdraw your funds out of it. So if you keep your money into a compounder, there was just a case that got that got decided on. If you keep your money in it, it seems like they're not taxing the accrual in that account. It's when you withdraw it out and turn it into something else. That seems to be the taxable event. Again, not a tax advisor, so you have to consult your own tax attorney about that stuff.
Yep. Good. Romeo asks, is there another place other than Facebook? Like, are there other ways to get support other than the Facebook group? Is there email? Is there chat?
Yeah. So right now, the two places are the Facebook group and office hours. So I typically will do office hours about every 2 weeks. And so that's actually live. So people come on live, and we prioritize people who are stuck with something. So if you're stuck with something, you want to dig in on that. That's where we spend the time on for that. Okay. And then once we answer those questions, then we'll typically nerd out. We'll be like, hey, what farms are you guys seeing? What other blockchains are people farming on? And so they always tend to be pretty fun. But yeah, those are the two places, is between office hours and the Facebook group. The Facebook group is awesome though, guys. I mean, we've got people are all over this stuff. They love this stuff, and that's it's one of the things I'm maybe most proud of, is like the fact that our community we're all trying to learn together. I am learning, guys. I am learning. I know a good bit of this stuff, but it's moving so fast. Like I am learning. And so, and I learn from people within the community. And that's, I really value that. That's a huge thing for me. So yeah, our community is awesome. And there's a lot of people who are all in there, and as well as myself and other employees of Boss Financial. So there's, we're in there making sure that you get your questions answered and that you're going to be successful. If you put the work in, there's no reason why you won't be successful, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Right. It's just a matter of like sticking with it. Ask questions. You get stuck with something, ask questions in the group, or come to office hours. This works, guys. It will work for you. If you put the time in, it will work for you.
Yeah, and
no doubt in my mind.
As an entrepreneur my entire life, I can't think of a better business. This business is knowing where to go, what to click, and you create income streams. Yeah, I mean that's what it is.
Yeah, and managing the ongoing operations. Yeah, that's it.
But I mean, if you really boil it down, I can't think of any other business that is this simple. Once you know what you're doing, and once you know how to manage it and monitor things, yeah, that's your job, is monitoring your money. I mean, You're like a rich
Going
person
money.
monitoring their money,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. And that's the beauty of it. And look, this is an old business model. Market making's been around for a long time. Providing liquidity has been around for a long time. It's a hugely profitable business, just we never got to play before. Now we get to play that. Now anybody who has the right knowledge and some basic stuff like a computer is able to go out. Computer with internet access. You got that, you're good to go. That's all you need. There's no other software you have to buy. It's nothing like that. Everything is free. It's all open source. It's a beautiful thing, man. This is it's really cool stuff.
And Boyette had a question. How much money is needed to start farming?
I built that farm today for a little over $100. You can build a farm for $20. Okay. So you don't have to have a ton of money to get started with this. In fact, I encourage everybody to start with a little bit of money at first. Don't put all your money at first. Like, test it out, prove it to yourself. Build that one farm, right? That one farm. I always tell people, build one farm. Prove to yourself that this is the real deal and that you can do it. And once you do that, everything shifts. Then you're like, oh, okay, well, of course I'm going to do this. It's like, I'd be insane not to do it. It's like,
exactly.
This is the opportunity. It's crazy.
Yep. Awesome. All right. Let's see what other questions we have. How many days before I could begin farming after I enroll? That's what it sounds like. Yeah. How many days before I can begin farming after I enroll? One
of the first things that we do in our course is we have something called the One Farm Challenge. What that is it's 43 minutes of video, 9 videos, I think, where I literally break down. The first thing we want you to do is build a yield farm. And so that means I'm not going to teach you much stuff. I'm literally just going to be like holding your hand in these videos, being like, go here, do this, click this. And what we're trying to do is get you to build your first yield farm. Prove it to yourself that, one, you can do it, and two, this thing actually works. Okay. In that One Farm Challenge. So once you, and we look at it this way, like the One Farm Challenge is the inspiration. The yield farming masterclass is the education. Okay. So you need to do the masterclass for sure. You have to do that because you have to understand how to understand where to find the stuff, where to risk, all the different stuff. You got to get that knowledge, right? But the inspiration comes from just getting it live. So you you can get your first farm live in 43 minutes. That's how long it takes to actually get your first farm live. And it's a project that I very much so like, that we recommend as your first one. You don't have to. You could use a different one if you wanted to, but for folks that are just like, all right, let's try it out. I've actually talked to the founder of the project. It's a really good project, in my opinion. Join, and you will see what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's a great question, and the answer is we need to get you your first farm as soon as possible, because I know that once you have that first farm, you will stick with it and you will learn this stuff. And once you learn this stuff, you're going to be unstoppable.
That's it. Here's a question. Let's see. Why do you limit the Facebook group to only 6 months?
6 months free. So by the way, all the rest of the content you have lifetime access to. We update it and all that stuff. So it's just the Facebook group that we do eventually charge for. And the reason why is we have to actually have employees go in there and monitor, make sure everything's, so there's actual real ongoing cost for us. But the reason why we put it at 6 months is because one, by that time you'll know the value of it, and two, it's just like it's a at some point in time we have to not lose money with it, and so eventually we do need to charge.
Yep. I've got a question from Darwin. Dave and Kedrick, awesome training. Can I just pay to be part of your Facebook Private Boss Financial Group?
Unfortunately, we don't offer that. It is together. Those two things, the two things are together. And part of the reason why, and I appreciate that, I've had other people ask that as well. Part of the reason why is we're trying to get everybody talking the same language. It's really important. there's all kinds of ways to think about risk and like, with yield farming. What we're trying to do is take everybody through the same training so that we're all able to communicate with really high fidelity, like really good communication about like, hey, I've got this opportunity. So that when I say, oh, I found a really great high risk farm, you know what I'm talking about. And there's a specific definition to that with specific risk profiles. Okay. Again, if you understand the risk and you manage it, this is life-changing stuff. But that's why we're so focused on understanding the risks and mitigating those risks. Because look, we know what the returns are. We see it. It's printed on the website, right? We know what we're going to make off of it. How do we make sure that we have this fit into an overall diversified approach? And so that's why we all are kind of taking this kind of training and all operating as a certain
well, it's a system that
it's a system that
it's a system that works all together. I mean,
exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
All right, Ed. It sounds like Ed enrolled. He says, excited about getting my first farm going. Thanks for all the info. Congratulations,
awesome.
Ed.
Congratulations, Ed.
Yeah. We have quite a few people have enrolled. Again, I don't know their names unless you guys identify yourselves here. I would love to know if you guys enrolled. Just let us know.
Yeah, please post a comment. Please let us know.
We'd love to congratulate
who's on
you.
The team.
Yeah, we'd love to congratulate you and welcome you aboard as well. Boyette asks, how long can we access the learning materials?
Forever.
Lifetime access, right?
Yeah. That's always, you'll always have access to that.
And I'd love to ask this question. I haven't asked this question to you before, Kedrick, but how often do you feel like these materials are updated? This is probably a good question for people to ask too.
I mean, we're updating them pretty frequently. I'd say, well, the stuff that needs to be updated, we update our, monthly,
Okay.
if not every couple of weeks.
Okay.
But adding new stuff to it, again, the DeFi is changing so fast, right? And so. And even and I always tell people this, like we need to maintain a pretty loose definition of yield farming, because what exactly that is changes. This really cool feature of decentralized finance, which is called, sorry to nerd out for a second here, but it's called composability, which means that what's happening is people are building on top of other people's stuff. They don't have to ask permission, they just do it. And so what happens is you have these new layers of innovation happening in decentralized finance. And at each new layer are new yielding opportunities, new ways to make money. And so that's why I always tell people, we need to maintain, it's one of the reasons why I tell people you got to go through the course, because we need to maintain a loose definition of what yield farming is so that we can take advantage of all the new things that are coming out. And so as new things come out, we post that in the community, we update documentation. And luckily there's a lot of stuff that is like, it's stamped and tried and true, and it's like, how to swap a token. That doesn't need to be updated. Like if that's not changing, right? That's set, and that's but like new opportunities, new yielding opportunities, new things that are coming out, DeFi 2.0 type stuff. That's stuff that we do add back into it. But yeah, you have lifetime access to all the materials.
Awesome. Ed said, yes, I am. In other words, he's enrolled and looks amazing.
Nice, Ed.
He's already in there and it looks amazing. So congratulations.
Awesome. Congratulations.
That is so exciting. I get excited because, my whole life, my mission has been to help people get out of the rat race of the 9 to 5. And so this falls right in with the same mission of helping people to get financially independent. So very exciting. Victor has a question. How do you get access to the Facebook group after 6 months?
Yeah, so we do charge after 6 months. We are, let's see, we launched Boss about 6 months ago, so we're just now even starting to put that in place. We haven't charged, but we are starting to put that in place for people that have been in the group for 6 months. But the way you get access to it after you sign up is there's a link when you sign up to the masterclass page. You're going to see on the left hand side it'll say join our Facebook group. You click that button. You'll need to answer a question. There's a special code that you need to put in so that we know you're from our community. And so you put in that code. I think it's, we update it, so I can't remember exactly what it is. But enter that code, and then we have admins that go through typically every 24 hours and approve you into the actual Facebook community. And then you'll have full access there.
Nice. Nice. Another recommendation, just so you guys know, we're finishing up here on the questions. So be sure to go to learnfromked.com, enroll today. It looks like Boyette enrolled. Congratulations,
Nice,
Boyette.
congratulations, welcome.
Love getting you in there and getting you learning this yield farming adventure. It really is an adventure. And gosh, I think that brings us to the end. It says, thanks for providing this opportunity for us. Thank you, Ed, for joining us tonight. Very excited. Congratulations to everybody who's enrolled. And for those of you that haven't, hey, you have a chance. I don't know how long this offer will be open, Ked, but can you give us a sense of how long we'll have this open?
Yeah, well, I know that there's some people that you'd mentioned that wanted to be able to join. We were going to send them a recording, so I want to give them the opportunity. Potentially 24, maybe 48 hours. And so let's look at that list. I know that you had some folks that you wanted to get access to as well. So let's break that down, but probably somewhere in that range. 24, 48 hours, something.
Yeah,
like
I had quite a few people ask about replays and stuff. You know, things happen. People are busy with their lives and whatnot. So
we can follow up and give people a what's the timeline, but it's not going to be. It'll be it's days, not definitely not a week. So 1 or 2 days. But yeah, let's follow up and give people an understanding when this particular offer is going to go down.
Yeah, Randy says already enrolled for a while now. So congrats, Randy, of being part of the
welcome.
Boss Financial family.
Yeah, I love it. That's awesome. Thanks for joining.
All right, those are all the questions, Kedrick. Any closing thoughts here?
No, again, it's look, even if you decide yield farming is not for you, you've got to pay attention to this trend. Decentralized finance is not going anywhere. It's going to eat the world. In fact, it's actually a smaller part. Decentralized finance is actually a subset of something called Web3. And Web3 is going to be the new internet that we actually all live on. And it's not just about financial products, although finance is the first leading part of it. And the principles that are driving decentralized finance are also going to be driving Web3. But social networking is going to change. The way we play video games are going to change. There's ways to be able to play video games and earn money now. By the way, it's crazy that sounds, and not just from other people. I mean, the video game itself pays you money. It's called play to earn. Axie Infinity is a good example. There's the way that we actually collaborate, the way that value is created on the internet is all changing. So whatever you're doing, maybe you're saying, I'm too busy with this stuff, but you're gonna have to pay attention because this trend is the real deal, and it's not just going to be in finance. Finance is going to be huge, and it's going to disrupt that massive multi-trillion-dollar industry. But this is going to be literally everything on the internet is going to be impacted by a lot of these principles that you're learning in our course and around decentralized finance. So,
absolutely. Well, write that URL down. Learn from Ked.
Learn from Ked. Yep.
If there was any hesitation, get in touch with me. Get in touch with Kedrick. We're here to serve you. We're here to help you to build your wealth through yield farming. I have not been this excited about something in a long time. I can't even remember. And it's really an exciting time to be involved in this wealth creation process. So be sure to write that down, learnfromked.com. If you weren't able to enroll tonight, great. You have about 48 hours to get started and get enrolled and join us on this amazing journey. It really is an exciting time. So thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight.